It's it. Last day of July. It's here. It's almost over. It'll be over soon. Today we're going to talk about Carvana defying expectations, Mazda's new logo, and Tesla's hoods being unlatched.
I'm telling you what.
I mean, a
Weird
hood.
stuff out there at the end of the month in
The
July.
hood of a frunk. The frunk hood. I guess you could call it the frunk hood.
The frud.
The frunk lid. I mean, is it a lid? Is it a hood? Because it's like the deck lid, the trunk lid. Is it a frunk lid and not a hood on a Tesla?
I don't know.
These are questions that people are demanding answers to
They're
on the
demanding
last
to
day of
know,
the month,
Paul.
Kyle.
They need to know if it's a frud, if it's a frunk lid, if it's a hood frunk. I don't know.
How many dealers do you think want to hear from you today?
How many dealers want to hear from me?
Yeah.
None. Nobody wants to talk to me today.
He's like, unless I'm working in one of their sales departments, none, zero.
Yeah. I mean, I have a call with an IT guy today. That's who cares about saying hi to me.
Yeah, right. Right. Exactly. Or unless you're looking for value for your trade, maybe.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You know, if I'm looking to buy a car, they want to talk to me all day.
Might be in that game. Oh, hey, a week from today, we are going to have our next DeSoto Edge webinar with our friend Jim Ganther from Mosaic. I know you're not thinking about it today, last day of the month, but next week you should be thinking about it. What's been going on under the surface with the cars rule? We're going to have some new information because next week's kind of a big week. So Jim's been gathering all the stuff, and he's going to share all the stuff. And we're going to tie it back to how that ties down today to your sales process, to how you're moving things through. So, and we always have a lot of fun. Let's just
we do have a lot of fun.
You easily waste 20 minutes of your day next Wednesday. So don't waste it. Instead, spend it with us. Go to asoto.com. Go to asoto.com right now. Just sign up for the webinar because what gets scheduled gets done. Who said that?
And I'll tell you, the registration, you know, I always like looking at like the registration list, and I wish we could kind of share them. Yeah. But when I look at the registration list of this one, there's like some really strong players that are thinking about this. True. And so like if you use that as a barometer to know whether or not you should be interested, just know the types of people that are interested in this one are not just like, you know, some salesperson that just started in the business. You know,
no crypto expert.
No crypto experts on this.
I mean, maybe, but that's not what they're leading.
That could be true. That could be true.
I think that's what we got today.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into this deal. All right. Might be fun to talk about this for a moment. Actually, yesterday we did a flashback. We were like, hey, 10 years ago, this is what the headlines were in automotive. It was so much fun. Like millennials are going to stop buying cars because of ride sharing. So let's show the graphic. We have a little LinkedIn newsletter that we do. If you don't do it, follow us on LinkedIn at Asoto. And basically, the first print ad in automotive was released yesterday in history back in 1898. So it's 1898. That's over like 125 years ago. It's a century and a quarter. Basically, on July 30th, 1898, the weekly journal Scientific American introduced the world's first car ad, courtesy of Cleveland's Winton Motor Carriage Company. In case you didn't know, they're not around anymore.
Real company.
The ad said this, basically. Here, put the ad back up. Here's what it said. It said, dispense with a horse and save the expense, care, and anxiety of keeping it. To run a motor carriage costs about half a cent per mile. The ad went on to say things like ball bearings, zero vibration, and I doubt it was zero vibration
whatsoever.
But if you've ever ridden a horse, especially at slow speed, there's a little vibration going on. I can't
imagine that thing's like this deal, right? And they smooth that joker out.
It also, in the ad, advertised the feature, zero odor. Now, I don't know what that thing was running on. It wasn't electricity.
Well,
I bet it smelled.
It's all relative, Paul, because
but it didn't smell like a horse.
Compared to having a horse with a bag that's catching its stuff.
Oh, there's no bag. There's no bag. There's no bag. Yeah, so that's what it was. Basically, this was the beginning of the shift from horse-drawn carriages to what we called motor carriages. Alexander Winton's brainchild promised a future of motoring convenience and public curiosity, and now we know everything about people when we market to them, or at least quite a bit. Not just like let's throw a print out there.
We think we know everything about everybody and we know how to market to them, but we're still trying to figure that out today.
I wonder. Yeah, we thought we did 10 years ago, 20 years ago. right? We think
Digital's going to change everything. We're going to be able to track everything. We're going to know where everyone is at all times.
Yeah. Cookies are going away. Cookies are back. Facial recognition. I don't know. Maybe. Nathan, our producer, just puts in, do you think all the people who cared for horses were worried about their business back then?
Oof.
Yep. I would love to see how many of those people ended up selling motor carriages, I guess we'll call them.
I bet you.
I bet a couple. We got to dig up those stories.
Yeah,
those
like back
players,
to,
man.
Earlier this week or late last week, we were talking about, oil companies getting into the charging game.
That's right.
Like how do you transition as a business? We talk about that with dealers, right? On shrinking profit margins. How do you get into other verticals, other opportunities for margin? And so it's been a long history in that in shifting for business.
Sounds like entrepreneurship to me.
Oh,
hey, this is
a
great
wish the
segue
last
to
story was right now because I had a perfect segue, but we'll just keep rolling.
No rules on the last day of the month. We could go to the last story first. All right, here's the next one. This is pretty relevant too. It's about reinventing online used retailer Carvana. You know who they are. Expected to report a significant year-over-year increase in sales in the second quarter, with results anticipated post-market close today. So we'll get the results today when the market closes. Carvana sold 91,878 vehicles in Q1, which was up 16% year over year. Analysts are predicting Q2 sales will surpass last year's 76,500 vehicles, with a potential 3% quarter over quarter growth, with William Blair analyst Sharon Zakfia adjusting her Q2 sales estimate to 98,000. That'd be a pretty big increase. They're reporting 15% increased inventory, 16% site traffic, and they're saying these are positive indicators.
Naturally.
BTIG analyst Marvin Fong praises their business model, setting a share price at a target $155. Here's a quote from him. He said, "While there's no way around the fact Carvana trades at a premium to most e-commerce auto-related sites, we believe their vertically integrated and in-sourced business model is simply a better mousetrap in an enormous retail market that shouldn't be overlooked."
Oh man, see now, if my boy Ben Hadley was listening right now, he'd be screaming from the rooftops about building a better mousetrap, right? Yeah. That we're, we talked about the first story was all about putting the cheese out there, right? What are we inviting people to come to, and what's the mousetrap? Is it able to actually engage consumers and not just have them kind of, perusing or shopping or interested. And Carvana has definitely built that. They've built a way to say, hey, you might be interested based on some core beliefs about the shopping process. And once you're interested, they know exactly how to push you further into the funnel. And that's, well,
there's a segment too. There's they've identified a market segment who wants to purchase that way. And there will always be a segment that wants to purchase that way. I was having a conversation with a dealer of a large group earlier this week about call to action buttons. And we were talking about what buttons should there. So we were kind of going around and should it be, I'm interested? Should it be, what's my trade? Should it be talk with someone now? And then Carvana's just got one button. It's let's get going. Right. And if you're not ready to let's get going, which means you have to set up an account, give them information.
Right.
Then they're like, okay, then you're not a good fit for us.
You're not a good fit. And that's I think hard for dealers and any retailer to understand is that the actions you take must be willing to say no to some consumers.
Yep. Right.
And that's actually a stronger position than trying to say yes to everyone.
Yeah. I mean, but granted, they do isolate themselves by being online only in the beginning.
Yep.
Right. Do you trust them to have a vehicle that you can't test drive, you can't look, even if you can, give it back or have them pick it back up, right? There's a hassle there. So, but yeah, we'll see what they do. Obviously, entrepreneurial spirit's alive in Carvana. Think a year ago, their stock price was not even close to 155.
It was close to 155. It had a period.
Oh, it was in between. A little bit of a hiccup, little glitch going on there. Speaking of little glitches.
Stop.
Segue.
Oh, we got a good segue in finally this week. Tesla is, air quotes, recalling approximately 1.8 million vehicles due to a software glitch affecting the hood latch assembly, impacting 2021 through 2024 Model 3s, Model X's, and the 2020 through 2024 Model Y. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration warns the software may software may fail to detect an unlatched hood, potentially causing it to open and obstruct the driver's view. We all know what this looks like. We've seen Tommy Boy movies. Tesla has issued a free over-the-air software update to fix the issue without requiring a physical visit. Basically, they said, just make sure your car connects to the Tesla network, and away it goes.
Yet again, like, hood latch could come undone. Fear not. Connect to network.
Think of the anxiety that creates if, like, you get a recall where, like, your hood might fly out while you're driving. Some people are gonna be like, I'll just make sure it's set. But some people, like, are thinking about that.
Well, and I mean, how many people never even know about the recall before the over-the-air update happens?
Because it was sent in an envelope to your previous address?
Right. Like,
it's done. It's over.
It's a totally different world. It's just a different world.
I know. I don't know. I wonder when, and maybe not close, they're going to, like, not call this a recall if you have a vehicle that's capable of just fixing this, right? Like, is there an issuance and there's, like, what, I don't know what you're going to call it. I mean, that's a safety issue, right? Definitely
it's
a safety issue.
But it's the exact same thing that, like, it's a physical safety issue, but there are data safety issues that happen every single day on the Apple App Store. And what do? You get a software update says minor bugs and fixes. And some of those could be as large as, like, exposing your data, right? So, like, what's the, what is software change actually protecting you from, and what is it called? Is it called a recall, or is it just called,
Yeah, I mean, some of it has to do, like, the physical safety. There's, like, I guess just picture, like, what does this look like on a BuzzFeed headline?
Oh, yeah.
Tesla hood could come unlatched, right? Or your data may potentially be exposed, right?
Yeah. It's a different feeling.
It is. Oh,
Speaking of a different feeling.
Oh, nice job.
Stop.
Segue.
Time.
We got here.
Well, it looks like Mazda is going to have a new brand based on a logo that has been recently filed for trademark in Japan, which shows a new streamlined design. I think we have it up now. Basically, they've flattened the old logo, all of the, like, gradients and everything, and took a little bit of the edge out of it. It looks like, honestly, if you're a designer, it looks like someone went into Illustrator, dropped the logo in, hit vectorize, and came up with the new flattened logo. The new logo retains a familiar shape with the circular emblem used since 1997. And
that tracks.
So the simplified logo was previously seen on the Arata SUV concept at Auto China 2024, but is still uncertain if the new logo will appear on future Mazda models. Recently, other competitors, of which that they are saying that they are competitors now with BMW, Audi, Buick, Cadillac, and Jaguar Land Rover, have all simplified their logos as of recent. Mazda aiming to be that.
I like the PR play of this one. That's a great. Some publicist is like, I got it. We're going to talk about our competitors. Yeah, I think whenever you use gradients and shading as a distinctive characteristic of your logo, you're losing. I think the logo just lacks distinction. I don't know. It kind of looks like the Van Halen logo to me now. Like, put it back up there, Nathan.
Yeah.
It looks like you just kind of Van Halen. I mean, it's a logo. And a logo is only as strong as what you do with it, right? Like how you build brand around it. Yeah. And Mazda is obviously on the upswing. I think they can storytell around it. Definitely will look better than forcing people to have a 4-color gradient.
It just blows my mind that in a decade they have literally changed their brand. If this goes through and if this is actually happening, they will have in a decade changed their brand style guide for their logo 3 times now.
The ironic part about that is that they are the most picky when it comes to how the brand is represented.
Oh my goodness.
Right? They're just if you're in building a store, if you're working on marketing collateral, right? I mean, they're just dialed in. Like, that department's got I don't know. They got an unusually high
they're on
level
payroll,
of
like a legal team is on payroll. You know what I mean? Give it to them.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, time to go. Last day of the month. That's why dealers, you're out there selling cars anyway. You're not worried about the Mazda logo, but you might be tomorrow. Whatever it is, close out the month strong. We'll be here for you 1st of August.